welcome. This is REITVShow.com. I am your host, John Zor. And today, my friends, I'm here with a very special guest, Edwin Kelly from Equity Trust. And if you guys have been in the real estate investing game for a short amount of time, and you've been to any real estate club or any real estate seminar, I'm sure you've heard of Equity Trust, or you've heard of self-directed IRAs and all this other kind of stuff like that, but you probably have no clue what it is. And this guy right here, he's the expert. So Edwin, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
So can you tell the audience a little bit about Equity Trust and what you guys do and stuff like that?
Yeah, in fact, right now, our business is growing by leaps and bounds, which just tells you how great a time it is to be a real estate investor in this market. When I say that our business is growing by leaps and bounds, what I mean is that right now, we are opening up 700 to 1,000 new self-directed IRAs every 30 days. All right, so that's the potential and the power, and that's where there's a whole lot of interest. So when people say, why are you growing the way you're growing? When I say growth, I mean 700 to 1,000 new IRAs every 30 days.
What is an IRA?
Well, that's a great question. And here's my best answer to what is an IRA. It's a legal way to fire the IRS. That's basically the answer.
Nice.
So if you're sick and tired of paying taxes, I can show you how to get out of that trap and get out of that mess. Okay. All right, and show you how to keep the money and spend it all tax-free. That's another reason why our business is growing so much.
Okay.
Third reason why it's growing so much is that these strategies are very simple to use, particularly if you're a real estate investor, because we were founded actually by a real estate investor more than 34 years ago.
Wow.
Every process that we've created over that time is around real estate investors. So we are the premier self-directed IRA custodian for real estate investors today.
Okay, so and anybody can get one of these?
Actually, that's a great question, and you need one thing to qualify to open and contribute to an IRA, and it's called earned income. So as long as you have earned income, you can open and contribute to an IRA.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that basically qualifies just about everybody.
And what kind of things can you do with an IRA?
Well, that's a great question, because what most people say is, well, what's the real benefit to an IRA? Because these days, when people think of IRAs, they think, okay, I can lose 50% of my money overnight. And for what I call plain vanilla IRAs, that's a true statement. All right, so if you have a plain vanilla IRA, meaning an IRA at a bank or a brokerage house, they will allow you to invest in things like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, CDs, right? The things that go down in value, or at least have lately. All right, what a truly self-directed IRA is that at Equity Trust, that's what we offer. And what that means is that we will allow you to invest in anything that the IRS allows you to invest in. So, for example, you can invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and CDs if you want to, but we also allow you to invest in anything that the IRS would allow, like real estate. So people who are buying foreclosures, people who are doing short sales, all of these types of strategies that investors seem to love these days and are making a lot of money with, those are the kinds of things that you can do inside of that IRA.
And the one thing that I love about self-directed IRAs is that anything that you do within them is tax-free, right?
Absolutely. Let's back up a second. If you do it in your own IRA, it's what we call tax deferred, meaning that, let's just say, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're doing a wholesaling deal, right? And you have $100 come out of the IRA, because you always have to have, that's one of the key things, you have to have consideration come from the IRA for it to be a valid investment according to the IRS. Okay. So let's just say we have $100 come from the IRA, and actually a client of mine, Mark, in Columbus, Ohio, did this. He had $100 come from his IRA. His IRA took an option on a piece of property. Okay. He then had his Roth IRA assign that option over to another investor, and the investor wrote a $5,000 check back to his Roth IRA, okay, for the right to take over that option. So $5,000 went back to the IRA. He paid nothing in taxes. Okay, so that's what I mean by tax deferred. He gets to keep all that money, reinvest his money, and grow it that much faster. In fact, when we looked at Mark's account 2 years after he opened it at Equity Trust, he grew his Roth IRA from $6,000 to $225,000. He did that literally in 24 months. Okay, that's the kind of power of what we're talking about. Now, during that time, he paid nothing in taxes. That's one reason why his account grew so fast. But now, on the back end, where he spends the money, that's where your question comes in. Is it